Hey, what's up, Village? Keith Underwood here, creator, writer, and producer of Califia and the Timeless Sentries. And we have back with us tonight the Renaissance man himself, Mr. Demetrius Grosse. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Keith?
Keith is doing good, man. No complaints whatsoever, making the best of a strange situation.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'll
For
say it
sure.
that way. Yeah. How are you and the fam holding up with all of this? It feels like we're getting towards, some daylight.
Yes, yeah, family's good. Yeah, it looks like we have a situation, a very abnormal situation that's trying to normalize itself. People are getting vaccinated and there's stimulus checks rolling out. So
Right,
that's
right,
good.
right.
Yeah, so no, man, life is good.
That's good, man. That's good. Well, some people are very familiar with you. Some people are kind of familiar with you, and some people saying, you know what, that dude looks familiar. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, your career, and what's going on with you currently?
Well, I'm Demetrius Grosse. I'm an actor and a writer and sometimes producer. I
Hmm.
have a few TV shows to my credit. I was on The Brave, which was an NBC series. Was on Banshee, which was a HBO Cinemax series. I've done several films that have made some waves. Most recently, 13 Hours, directed by Michael Bay. Straight Outta Compton, directed by F. Gary Gray, and a host of others. I'm a Pisces from DC.
That's right.
That's
When was your birthday, man? Because it had to be either
Yeah, it was
coming
just
up.
recently. That's the only why I mentioned it.
Right.
It was in February on the 26th.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
Happy belated.
So thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I mean, in a nutshell, that's me. And anything that you don't know, I'm sure you can find out with the wonderful world of the World Wide Web.
That's right. That's right. There are no secrets anymore, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, my mother, she's always really afraid of like people posting pictures or whatever. I was like, Mom, I can do a search of your name right now and find out what you've been doing for the last 5 years. That's
Right.
so,
Right.
and you don't even have a social media presence, but
Hmm.
so it's
But
really
so yeah. But c'est la vie.
That's right. That's right. Such
Mhm.
is life. So, what is your you are a really talented actor. I mean, I just am always impressed to watch you work, and you're not just a person that puts on a voice. You actually embody, a character, and I'm always very, very impressed by your work. And so, what is your approach to acting?
My approach to acting is very much like a musician would enter a band. I think if you're, say, for instance, playing a trombone or brass, trumpet per se, and you are coming in to a group that is playing a song, it's very important to figure out where your instrument falls in line and where it can add to the music and not detract from the music. So that's kind of how I enter my acting acumen. I try to find where does this character fit into the story and what story are we telling. And every time I do a character, it's different. Tries to be a little different, but with some of the nuances of that are uniquely my own.
Right. Are you one of those actors that draws on your personal experience, or do you kind of immerse yourself into the character and what you think their experience is?
I think I am an actor who uh, tries to draw from personal experience where it's helpful and applicable. And I'm also the kind of artist that will s- source the imagination
Hmm.
and find things that may be very remote from myself from my own personal experience. And sometimes those choices often give you sometimes even more freedom to play with. Recently I did a character on Fear the Walking Dead where I played a bounty hunter, and I've
Mm.
never been in a zombie apocalypse or been a bounty hunter. But where I connected on a personal level was this guy's um, sense of self-reliance and being very um, able to, I don't know, he just kind of was a loner. Sometimes I'm a bit of, I can be very, secluded off with just me, my family, and my close friends,
Right,
shut the
Piscean.
world out a little bit. So you just try to find little places within the writing where you can connect and have compassion for whatever character you play. I think that's a big deal for me. Is just having a non-judgment zone when I'm taking on a character to say whether or not this guy's a good guy or bad guy or he's left or right. Let me find a way to love and root for this character so that I can approach that work from a place of 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 love, really,
Hmm.
and serving the bigger story.
That's good, man. Your voice was also, and I said this the last time we chatted. It was just so perfect for Morien, because even though Sir Morien the Black Knight, the story is rooted in English British lore. I didn't want him to have a strong English accent. I just wanted
Mhm.
him to sound powerful and to be well spoken and intelligent, you
Well, that's
know?
one of the things that I love about playing Sir Morien the Black Knight is that there is an opportunity for there to be multi-dimension to his persona. Sure, he is our male hero, and I say male hero because Califia is actually our heroine.
Hmm.
But our male hero, he is, but he is not just brawn. He's not
Hmm.
just um, on a rampage or a warpath. Like he also leads with his compassion. And he leads with his intelligence, and so that to me is always something that attracts me to playing a character, especially when it provocates the bigger conversation of um, dimensionalizing um, black black malehood, like black
Hmm.
manhood, what that means, and moving in a direction that's more toward um, black men being looked at as compassionate and intelligent,
Hmm.
not just brawny and moody and brooding, but like that they can have layers to them. And I think that's an ongoing thing that we as artists are
Hmm.
working on putting in the tapestry of our culture.
That's right.
So yeah, I like that about the character that you wrote.
Thank you, sir. And the one that you brought to life. So I
Mhm.
definitely appreciate that. Um, when it comes to voice acting and then live action, is your approach different then, or is it kind of the same, or do you feel that you might have to be more technical, when it's voice acting because you can't be seen, or you tell me.
I think you're just when you're working on a live action project, there is 360-degree coverage of
Mhm.
everything. So when you are working on a voice project, there's the same coverage, people just can't see you.
Mhm.
So they want to see you in their imagination and in their mind's eye. And so you have to invite them into that space by it being even more real for you because you're in there in a booth, maybe not with other actors, but you are really creating that world for the people through the sound of your voice. So sometimes those images have to be even more real for you as the actor than when you have an actual edifice of a set and props and all those things. So it sometimes can be more challenging, but it's equally, if not, more rewarding because
Right.
you're really using your imagination to create the situation with a
Mhm.
lot less helpers and stimuli.
Right, right. And it's funny because you guys were fortunate when we did Califia and the Timeless Centuries because we did it with everyone in the room. And oftentimes that's not the case. So at least you have each other's energy to feed off of.
Absolutely.
But a lot of the times, it's one person, that's in the room. And so I could really see having to call to your imagination in order, to help bring that character to life. So yeah, that's that I think that's good for anyone that's a an aspiring actor, to kind of know from both of your standpoints, whether it's live action or whether it's animation, that that the brain plays a big part, in it of creating those moments and not just spouting out lines.
And listening too, trying to get those cues
Mm,
from your castmates or, your director, like, what we had in Rockman, your
yes,
writer. We were fortunate to have you and Rockman in our session. So
yeah.
I'm learning. It's becoming more about listening, as well as, the story that your character's telling through the words. But, how is the character being impinged or provocated by what's being said to him? It's,
Hmm.
it's just another layer of the tapestry.
That's right. So, like we said earlier, you're a very versatile actor. You've played a plethora of different roles,
Mm.
and you're also a family man. So, have you ever found yourself having to explain a role that you've portrayed to your kids?
Um, I don't really have my children watching a ton of the stuff I do yet because some of it is more adult based. I have very young
Hmm.
children, so
Hmm.
some of the stuff that they've seen might be like Rampage, which even then I found myself like shielding their eyes.
Right.
Uh, but their grandfather had them watch that. um, No, to me in my household, man, it's not really about me. Like
Mm,
I try to lean into what their interests are. I try to lean into what they have expressed passion behind.
mhm.
They have
That's
they
what a
love.
good dad does.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
They love that they love music and trumpet, and guitars, and they're into gaming and coding and stuff like that. So I've actually been trying to get them away from watching too much television,
Hmm.
ironically.
Right, the electric babysitter, as we used to call it.
Yeah, we try to steer away from that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. So, did you read comic books growing up? And if so, what kind of comics did you like?
I wasn't like really heavy into comics. I did read Magneto.
Hmm.
Um, they used to have these comic books that would be at the African American cultural
Festival.
festivals, and so I used to pick up some of those. It was
Right.
those were just independently published comic books were really cool to me.
Hmm.
Um, but I did find as I got older, I started to get into X-Men a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, I discovered Black Panther when that whole wave kind of popped off. I dabbled. I wasn't a hardcore comic file, so to speak.
Right.
I was more into sports,
Right. Right.
you know, for better or
Yeah.
worse.
What did you play? Did you play any sports? I won't make any assumptions.
No, I mean, I didn't play a ton of sports. The only like team sports I played were basketball and soccer.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and
Soccer, really?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and other than that, I just played sports for fun. I just enjoyed it.
Right. So we know that you didn't read a lot of comics, but if you could be any superhero, who would it be and why?
Oh wow, I'm getting really curious about Green Lantern,
Hmm.
um, and it's been kind of coming by osmosis. People have been saying I should check out that comic and what that's about. So I'm curious about that. My I did love He-Man when I was a kid.
Hmm.
He-Man was super cool.
Right.
Uh, I don't know, but I think I'm in my youth as a comic fan. I'm still learning it. Still
Right.
getting my feet wet with it.
Yeah. And
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna say, and as the genre expands,
sure.
more
Yeah.
people are becoming aware of the comic book, genre. And there's some people that are like, die hard. If you didn't grow up
Oh
reading
yeah.
comics, what are you doing, reading comics? But I feel
Yeah.
just the opposite. It's just like, finding a new book, to read, or a new film to watch, or a new TV show, to check out. So it's interesting to see, like, this new wave of comic book readers, and kind of, because it's another opportunity to go into a situation, eyes wide open, that's new, to you, a whole nother world, no matter how old you are. So
Hmm.
that's pretty cool. And it's interesting that you mentioned Green Lantern too, because like, I'm always touting that, Califia in the Time of the Centuries, one of the main messages is that it's a group of people from different backgrounds who come together for a common good. Well, it's kind of the same thing with Green Lantern. There's a Green Lantern Corps. And they're from all different, planets and galaxies and universes, but they find a way to work together for a common good. So there's a similar theme there. So
Yeah.
that's a good choice. Um, if you could make your own, if you could have your own original superpower, what would it be, and why?
My superpower would be uh work ethic, right? Like if I could have a superpower work ethic,
Right, right,
that would be awesome. Just
right.
because, like, you think about how many ideas that we have on any given day, or how many things we want to do, ways we want to serve, things we want to,
Hmm.
how we want to give back, how we want to develop this project or do that. And then the economization of time happens, and
Hmm.
energy, and the 24-hour cycle of the day. Like, so I think willpower and time management.
Would be two.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be like a superhero, like
Yes.
in his right hand he knows the key to time management, and in his left hand he has supreme supernatural willpower and work ethic. He is a superhuman. It'll be like that would be my superpower.
Well, it's very practical,
Right. But I mean, could you imagine that superhero? That superhero would be crushing it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure, on so many levels,
just time management and
Right.
like willpower.
Right. I can be over here at one time and here at another time,
He
and
could have all the other superheroes working for him,
that's right. Have them all in check.
or he'd be working for them all. So there would be some kind of really mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship
Right,
between
right,
him and
right.
all the other superheroes of every other superhero universe. Be like, yeah, but that get it done, man.
Right. There you go. Get it
Yeah,
done, man.
he's just got a great attitude. He
So
works
let's see
hard.
here. I'm gonna
His time managed.
copywriting. Right. No, anyway, hey, how you doing, Demetrius? You're always so supportive of everything that we do, with Califia and the Timeless Centuries. Um, what special meaning does this project have for you? I mean, like I said, you are really ride or die with us. You and some other cast members, but you are one that definitely is always very supportive. What does this project mean to you?
This project means is, in a nutshell, it's giving some visuals to the folklore surrounding Califia, surrounding uh, people of color in the folklore of the medieval period, and even before. It allows us to see uh, a diverse, both gender diverse,
Mm,
ethnically diverse group of heroes that are after a good cause, and
mhm.
that are uh, have a kind of a specialization of labor. So it plays on a lot of intelligent chords for me personally. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is something that I believe in, and that I can get behind and hopefully make flourish.
Hmm. And what do you see Sir Morian's role being within what you just described?
I think Sumerian's role is that, you know, that quarterback, that leader, you know,
Mm, that's a good
that
example. I like that.
that
Yeah.
that commander with the ability to listen and take in his team and take in the totality of the situation, but someone who's assertive enough and confident enough to lead and step in that position. I admire those qualities, so it's a real treat to get to voice a character like that.
Hmm.
So thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Um, w- this is, we there are familiar IPs, that we know within the genre, whether it be like, He-Man or Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, whoever. Why should people check this out? It's unknown at large, but what would drive them to it? Why should they check it out?
If I were people, I would check it out before the world catches on to it, so you can be on the ground floor of it all. You know,
Hmm.
so you can know that you were with us from the jump, and you were with us from, you know, the beginning, the genesis of this amazing IP. I mean, there's so many stories that are still getting rolled out with this thing that
Mm,
to I think there's a specific charm to being a fan of something from its genesis.
hmm.
Um, that's what I liked about X-Men.
Hmm.
When one of the few comic book collections that I kept up with, it was because when I was growing up, it was at its genesis. So
Hmm.
as all the X-Men movies came out, as all that roll out, I felt somehow um, special, if you will, or that my experience was unique and somehow connected to that franchise because when I was a kid, they were just starting to really develop that style. And I think Caliph in the Timeless Centuries has a very unique style
Hmm.
that is unlike many of the other comics that I've seen. So if you're looking for a reason, I think the reason is simple, and that's originality
Hmm.
and uh, and a new take on, you know, multicultured superheroes. You know that that actually are pretty interesting and cool in their own ways and
Right.
unique, you know.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's so. I mean, to move outside of the comic book genre, when you were speaking about kind of that loyal fan from the beginning, I remember watching this little web series called Awkward Black Girl,
Mhm.
on YouTube, and religiously, I just thought that the young woman, who was starring in it, and it was her vision and her dream, and then to see it actualize into, this huge phenomenon called Insecure,
Right.
the brainchild of Miss Issa Rae. I mean, yes, you feel that connection, to something that you started with, and watching, the evolution,
Sure.
of it. So that was good, man. Yeah, you there. So, do you personally have any other interests in entertainment outside of acting? And are there some things in the works?
Absolutely. I love music and I've been around it pretty much my whole life. I actually started off doing musical theater. That was the first uh exposure I had, you know, doing the high school play or
Hmm.
whatever, you know, like so many of us. And so recently I just started working on some music. I have a single that I just released called American Police State.
Hmm.
Um, That is out on iTunes and Spotify
Nice.
and Apple Music.
Say it again. What's
Um,
the title again?
uh,
American
Amer-
Police State.
American Police State.
Okay.
And that was my first official single. I have another couple more we're gonna release within the next like 2 months. I'm gonna give like each single probably like a month and a half to kind of circulate and make the rounds, and then we will we will release the actual full EP probably closer to winter. Um, but yeah, it's called an American Uhuru Experience. So that's that,
Nice.
and then of course we're always writing and developing our own projects that we're in the process of pitching and aligning producers and uh, yeah. And then my number one thing, man, is just being the best version of me every 24 I get, man.
That's right.
Being a great dad, and
That's right.
that kind of stuff. But
Absolutely.
yeah, music has been one of those things that has been circulating in
So if
my
I remember correctly, you're rapping on the track, right?
on this first one, yeah. And
Yeah, that's
there's several of them I spit bars, but it's interesting because I'm also doing hooks on a lot of them too. Because
really.
I figured if I do the music, I won't have to do all the legal paperwork with sampling. So I just
Uh-huh.
created all of all of the punch-ins and samples and stuff, and just
Right.
it covers where necessary of little melodies and whatnot. So,
So I think I did this to you the last time, and I'm gonna do it again. Um, you gotta spit something for us, man. You gotta give us a little something.
uh, in this so-called imaginary fairy tale fabricated realm, the master's at the helm, a co-pilot to guide my flight path. His lessons begin with fear of him, but they end with wisdom, and then it kicks in. A control tower is like an hourglass whose height clears past the plights of atmospheres, stratospheres, sulfuric peer pressure, fears from yesteryear, never measured, truth crystal clear like the metaphors of Shakespeare, as black as Jesus. Who is he? Well, he is us, the Emmanuel, Elohim. So in him we can trust. Make no mistake, and don't forsake the truth. It's all within us. All it is what it was destined to be, the ethereal silence that begins and ends. That's a verse from the next single that'll come out called Unsolved Mysteries.
Nice, man. Nice. And where can everybody find it again? And it's under
Right,
Demetrius Grosse, right?
yeah, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, Demetrius Grosse. Right now, like I said, we have one single out. It's on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you stream your music. And then the next one coming out will be called Unsolved Mysteries.
Nice. Very nice, man. Anything else you want the folks to know?
Uh, you know, live it to the limit, love it a lot, and take good care. Be safe out there, y'all.
That's right. Good, man. Now, where can everybody find you on social media?
Um, I'm at Demetrius Grosse across all social media platforms. That's what Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, another thing that's happening soon. At the end of the year, Swagger is coming out. Swagger is a Reggie Bythewood project. It
Mhm.
is co-executive produced by Brian Grazer and basketball superstar Kevin Durant. And
Nice.
we just got the first season of that wrapped. And we are excited about potentially. I think it may release by the end of the year. It's for Apple Plus.
Nice.
Swagger, that'll
Nice.
be coming out soon. I just shot a movie called Boone that's going to be co-starring Neil McDonough.
Mhm.
Uh,
Boone or Boon?
Boon.
Okay, cool.
It's
Very nice.
a neo western. Yeah, so a lot of stuff in the can in the works. The cinema, we're always working on it.
Right. You
At some
stay
point.
busy, man.
Yeah.
I see you. Sometimes, I try to keep track of what all of you guys are doing, but sometimes I'm just
Mhm.
watching, like, oh, there he is again.
There's stuff
Oh,
going
there he
on.
is again. That's a blessing, man, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm, I'm proud of you, and it's well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Likewise. And it's really wonderful to see the evolution of you, Keith, and from working in public relations
Mhm.
to now working as a writer and a developer and a executive producer and producing your streaming shows, and it's really wonderful to see you evolve and follow through on your purpose. So
Thank you, man. I
mutually
appreciate
inspiring.
that. Thank you, man. Definitely. All right, guys. You guys continue, please, to follow, share, and like at Califia Comics across the board. Be sure to check out the Califia and the Timeless Centuries complete motion comic. It's got a bunch of new animation, a bunch of new art, some behind the scenes interviews that I've never seen before, including one with this guy right here. And, we just really appreciate you guys' support. Demetrius Grosse. Until the next time. Did you lose me?
No, I'm still on.
Oh, okay. No, I said no. Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
All right now.